I don't know.
We'll start now.
Right now.
Theme song.
I don't think we have one.
Yeah, fair enough.
Okay.
Okay. Well, welcome to the very first episode of The Fantastic Fools. This is very, very, very low budget podcasting, so bear with us. We are your hosts. I am Liam, and joining me is my good friend Aiden. Say hi to the thing.
Hi to the thing.
And yeah, so today we are going to talk about the entire history of the Terminator franchise, aka the 6 movies, including Dark Fate, which has come out a week ago.
I have no idea when it came out.
I'm going to say a week ago. And we both watched it. We'll give our opinions at the end, but for now we'll go for all the Terminator films. Just to sprinkle it and break the mold of what we think the Terminator franchise is. So
Yeah.
what's your opinion on of the Terminator movies?
I think it was a franchise that I think it went on for too long.
Fair enough.
Unlike the Mission Impossible franchises, like one was like, yeah, it's really good. 2 was like, nah. But then they waited a couple of years and then did a 3, and then that was good. It's like they've tried to follow this formula, but like, I think the biggest issue is because Terminator 2 is so good, no one else everything's just going to be compared to how good Terminator 2 is.
They peaked at 2.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. Before we start talking about it, do you know there's a Terminator game coming out?
Really? What is it about?
It's just called Terminator Resistance.
Terminator Resistance.
It's a first-person game. It's like a first-person shooter. It's out in 2 days from now. We're recording this on what, 13th?
Taeon. What have they done?
I don't know. It's like a shitty first-person shooter, and just from the gameplay,
it comes out in 2 days in Australia.
Yeah.
So we'll play it and see if it's shit.
Okay. I'm not spending money on that.
Yeah,
garbage.
me neither.
All right. So you want to do this worst from best or best to worst?
We'll just go chronological.
Chronological.
Oh wait. Do you want to like talk in chronological or just rank them or whatever?
Rank them from worst to best,
including Dark Fate.
Yeah, all of them in a giant thing, worst to best.
Okay. Well, the problem with this is that I think the Terminator movies definitely has the same problem with the X-Men movies for me, is that I think my worst and best ones stay, but the middle ones can change for all I care.
Yeah.
So I think from worst to best, probably Genesis, I think, is the worst one. And then slightly above is Dark Fate, which we'll get to.
Okay.
And then I don't know if I hate Salvation more than 3. I don't know what it is. I know because I only saw Salvation for the first time like a few weeks ago. So my views are a bit fresh on it, but I don't think Salvation is that bad.
I think it's fine.
Yeah, but I don't know if it's worse than 3. Which I think for now I'll just put it as Salvation then 3.
Okay.
Because I find 3 more funny, and then 1 and 2 is the best ones.
All right. So let's go like back and forth to this.
Yeah.
Oh, you want to start, or should I start?
You
with
can
my
start.
Worst one?
You can start.
All right. My worst one is absolutely Dark Fate.
Whoa.
I hated it.
Newest one.
I hated it so fucking much. It was so bad. I wrote some stuff down. All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll just go to the Dark Fate immediately. Perfect.
Yeah. So one of the writers is David S. Goya.
Oh fuck yeah, that's right.
Yeah, which I wrote. One of the things I wrote down.
I forgot he wrote it.
So this is what I wrote down.
Oh,
the man who needs to stop writing movies.
Yeah. I mean, look, he did the Dark Knight movies, but at the same time, the Nolan brothers did them as well.
I looked this up, so I was like, but
he only did story, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, he only did the story.
It's just story.
Christopher and Jonathan Nolan did the actual writing for it, which they're great at.
He also wrote Green Lantern. Ugh. He directed Blade Trinity. Was it called Trinity?
Blade
Trinity. Yeah.
He wrote Man of Steel. Did he wrote Batman v Superman as well?
Yeah,
right?
he wrote.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
Right. So I think that explains what you know. Kind of
great start. And directed by Tim Miller, which I like. Deadpool 1. He didn't do Deadpool 2 though.
No, that was one of the John Wick directors.
Guys. Yeah.
David
Lynch.
I think his name actually is David Lynch, spelt differently from Crazy Head Eraserhead.
Yeah, I want to see what else Tim Miller's done. Wow, Tim Miller looks completely different to how I imagine him.
He's he's a bold dude.
He looks through.
Okay,
whatever.
So back on the Dark, quickly on Dark.
He designed the title sequences of The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo and Thor: The Dark World, as well as directing Deadpool.
Pointless. Okay.
It just listed here. So.
Well, so I got to see Dark Fate for free.
Yeah.
Because when my brother won a competition, the cinema I went to, I won't name it just because I don't want to.
Yeah,
it was terrible. The chairs were like ripped and shit. They were like messed up, and the seat that I sat on had gum in it.
Christ.
But the thing was, it was dried up gum.
I don't think I've ever had that.
I think dried up gum is worse to me.
Because it's hard, you can't pull it.
That's the thing. Like if
all
it's
the moisture.
Yeah, if it's the fresh gum, it's gross, but you can pick it up. Like the chair, it was hard, like gum. Like it's been there for a while. It was black.
Remind me not to go to that cinema. I go to the premium cinemas.
So do I. That's the first time I've ever been to that one, and I'm like, I'm never going back.
Yeah.
So I hated that. Actually, this is quite funny.
Fair enough.
There was a family on my right. It was like a whole family. It was quite a busy session I went to. I wasn't expecting it. It was like 4:20 in the afternoon.
My session had like 5 people.
But on my right, there was this family. It was like a mum, her two sons, and her daughter.
Yeah.
And they had like the popcorn and everything. It was like a day out. And the eldest son kept doing something to his brother. I didn't know what because I wasn't paying attention. But halfway through, I just hear. And I turn
the mother.
And she's just slapping him in the arm, and she's like getting angry.
You naughty boy!
And I'm like, whoa, like, okay. It was funny.
You just wanted to move to a different seat.
It was funny. Well, this is what I wrote down.
Yeah.
Like I don't even remember.
I guess
writing
a dark
this.
fate. You're getting it right away.
Sorry, no.
Perfect.
So just this bit. This is what I wrote down.
Okay.
With the mum slapping her eldest in the arm for being a little shit. So I guess when I wrote that, must have been angry at him. I don't remember what it did. Anyway. So okay, first off,
I just put I only put down summaries. Unlike you, I didn't actually have notes for my thoughts. I'll just go off the top of my head. But for Dark Fate, actually I did put notes for Dark Fate. But for in summary, I just said less stupid than Genesis, but it's still garbage. That's what I put it as. It's less dumb than Genesis, but it's still garbage. That's what I put it as.
I put it low down. That's I hate it the most.
Yeah.
How long do you think it is? Like, what do you think? What do you think the length is? Because I read the length of all the Terminator movies.
I think the length is 2 hours, but it definitely felt longer than that. It felt like 2 hour, 2.5 hours. I think by the third act, I'm like, okay, this is taking a long time.
You want me to tell you how long it is?
How long is it?
2 hours 14.
Okay, that's there's more than I understand.
It is. Guess how much money do you think it was?
It was like 200 million, right? Well, I mean, like the budget was 200 million, but it actually made like 100.
The budget between 85 million and 196 million.
Really, I thought it was a lot more.
What do you think that is? The most expensive Terminator or least expensive?
Least expensive.
It's in the middle.
Okay.
I don't know why I didn't give you this one. But the box office, it's going fine. It's like the last time I checked, it was at 150 million, give or take.
So it's not good.
No, it's not making its money back.
I don't think they're gonna make another Terminator film.
I think they will.
That's what I think.
Okay.
I think since this is the official Terminator 3, and
it kind of
no one cares anymore.
It kind of cut off the timeline now.
Yeah, well,
so
it screwed the timeline. We'll get to that.
Okay.
We'll get to that.
Okay, so first thoughts of Terminator, like, all right, I'm just gonna go into what I say because I need to say this.
Yeah.
Grace is the worst robot or Terminator. I don't know what would you classify her as a Terminator. I call
she's a cyborg.
Anything that's a robot in the Terminator movies is a Terminator to me. She is.
Well, she's not a Terminator. She's just a enhanced cyborg. That's what she is.
But as like a protector,
she's the worst.
The worst, dude.
Comparing to Arnold in
she's a machine that feels pain and needs to take medication. Doesn't she need to take like insulin all the time?
Yeah, was it in her first? I'll say this about. We're just talking about random ones. We're doing spoilers, non-spoilers. I guess spoilers. Okay, fair enough.
Not.
Yeah,
I was gonna say.
I'll say it's the first fight scene between her and Rev 9. I think was really good, but then it got worse after. It's like, I need the medication because my metabolism is fast, so I need to get insulin or whatever. And I'm like,
she said,
why do you need that?
Yeah, she was like,
aren't you supposed to be like enhanced?
Yeah, she was
as a cyborg.
Yeah, she was like, I was built to have short bursts of adrenaline. Yeah. And I'm like, why?
You can't just have super strength.
Yeah. What if you accidentally set yourself off?
How much of you is robot? That's my question.
That's a good
Because it's her eyes, it's her skeleton. Most of her skeleton, I'm assuming.
Yeah, they do that X-ray and you see the bones and they're like, ooh, what's that?
Yeah, and that's about it.
Yeah. Another thing I wrote about Grace.
Yeah.
I laughed so hard. I almost started crying when she said her dad was killed over a can of peaches.
I don't remember that.
She was like,
I don't even remember.
You don't remember her saying
that? No, I don't remember that.
Oh my god.
I don't remember that at all.
When she's sitting on the train with Sarah Connor and Dina,
Drinking water.
Danny.
Danny,
They're sitting
yeah.
on there, and she's like, oh, she's describing like the new future, and she's like, oh, my father was killed over a can of peaches, and I'm like, dude, they must have been fucking good peaches then. That he died.
I agree.
He died. I'm like, really? If your dad can't defend himself because over
Peaches, yeah.
also, so
Peaches are good.
So that implies
Good
that
dessert.
like if this is like the scoundrel, like, well, it's either it went as, oh, give me your peaches, old man, and he went, sure, and they went, we're still gonna kill you because it's fun.
Or they're just like, give me your peaches, no, stab,
Yeah.
steal them away,
So
something like that.
so what he like, obviously it's like, it's the future, you know, you're supposed to keep food and nutrition. If
And
I
like apocalyptic and stuff.
I'm
like
assuming
that,
it was a gang of guys.
Yeah.
If it was a gang of guys that was like, give me a can of peaches, I'll say, here, take my wallet while you're at it. I'm not, no. Fucking a can of peaches.
Yeah.
That is so dumb.
Yeah, why a can of peaches? They say can of beans. I'm like, that's perfectly understandable.
Can of peaches?
Peaches.
All I can think is,
All I think of is, you know, when you remember, like, this is gonna be weird. You know, Ice Age.
Yeah.
The kid that they have.
I was
Her
gonna
name
talk.
is Peaches. That I don't know why. That's when I think
No.
of whenever someone says Peaches. I just think of the mammoth baby from Ice Age 4, 3.
3. She gives birth in 3.
Okay.
What
I don't remember. I don't give a shit.
My favorite thing about Ice. No, I won't talk about Ice.
Yeah,
Age.
don't talk
That's
about
just-
Ice Age. Stay
but-
on Terminator.
So when she said that, I laughed so hard, and
Yeah, yeah.
all it reminded me of was in Gremlins when what's her name, Pamela Kate, whatever.
Something like that.
One at Fast Time at Ridgemont High. She walks up and she talks about her dad dying, and she's like, oh,
Oh yeah.
he
and
got
two.
stuck in the chimney.
Yeah.
Because he pretended to be Santa and suffocated. I'm like, dude, that is so dumb. It just reminded me of how dumb this
what's
was.
What's better is that in Gremlins 2 they do the same thing, but they're just like, it's too funny.
Yeah.
Where she does like another backstory.
Yeah. It's so good.
It's really good.
Uh,
Anyway, back to Terminator Fate,
yep.
Dark Fate. I think. Well, what do you think of the Rev 9?
I think the Rev 9's cool.
I really like the Rev 9.
The two Terminator ideas
It's a really good idea.
It's a good idea. I think it's really hard for them to make. I think this is the problem with all the Terminator movies, just in general, is that T2 was so good that everything else they do with Terminator is kind of lackluster. So with the Rev 9 is like, that's the only way they could like, because we already have the Liquid Terminator.
Yeah,
who's like
the reason why.
peak. That's
yeah,
like
yeah,
peak
that's
Terminator.
the peak Terminator, the
Yeah.
T1000.
Yeah, exactly.
I think Rev 9 is better than the TX in Rise of the Machines.
Well,
I think Rev 9 is literally just like a revamped
Dude,
version of it.
TX could kick the shit out of Grace.
Yeah, I agree. Well, she's an actual Terminator.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but I think I like even though you can't really replicate the liquid metal effect from T2 because it was better then than it was in the other movies,
I don't.
which we'll get to. But I think the effect they used to like have him morph and kind of like build himself, I thought that was pretty cool. And yeah, I do like the design of the actual Terminator, like the endoskeleton one. I thought it was kind of weird because the thing about these Terminators is that it's not Skynet. Skynet's erased from existence.
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
now Legion, which is basically Skynet but different, I guess.
Yeah.
Air quotes different.
Yeah, but
It's pretty much just Skynet.
yeah, it's so. I don't get it. Why call it? Like obviously it's like
Yeah,
new
yeah.
timelines, but it makes. But why?
Legion. It's even a dumber name, or it's a more generic name than
Yeah,
Skynet.
because I was like, what the computer brand Legion.
Yeah,
or whatever.
yeah.
That makes no sense.
But I think, well, like looking at the actual Terminator design itself, it is different from the T800 and all the other ones, but it's not that different. So I feel like they kind of had a missed opportunity where they're like, oh, that Terminator looks a lot different than the other ones. Is this like a new model, or did something happen to the time travel or whatever? But it's just a black Terminator. But in saying that, I do
yeah.
like the split effect. I do like that.
I think what's really weird is, so that means do they share a consciousness?
No, I think it's like a dual system thing.
It's like I rap over you, you move.
Pretty much, yeah.
But what's really weird is, like, they made him Mexican on purpose. Because he drops in Mexico,
That is
and the
true.
first thing he says to a woman is not buenos nachos. That's good afternoon.
Yeah, whatever.
Oh no, he probably says buenos nachos. He just says good afternoon.
Or
I'm
just
like,
Ola.
I get it for him to fit in the universe, but it's kind of weird because like, actually, just all Terminators are weird because Arnold has an accent, yet he's sent to LA.
The TX is American. They got that one right.
Yeah, the TX is American.
Robert Patrick, T1000. Sorry.
Jason Clark's.
Oh God.
Yeah.
We'll get to that
Alright.
next. We'll get to that later.
It's just it's straight. I did
God.
like. What's his name? Can you look his name up? Is it
Gabriel?
Gabriel Luma?
I think that's his name. Yeah, he's a Ghost Rider in Agents of
he's
Shield.
Robbie.
He's really good.
I enjoyed it. I think it was cool.
Yeah, I really liked him. I like how
I hope his career just like obviously
Gets off
him being
after
a Terminator is a
Terminator.
big thing, but I hope
Yeah.
it goes even further because it's a
Like Jai Courtney.
Jai Courtney, Australia's favorite actor.
Yeah.
Jai Courtney.
And Sam Worthington, Australia's favorite actor. Jason Clarke.
No, as I says, Sam Worthington, America's most boring actor from Australia.
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
beautiful. What? Yeah. Why are a lot of them Australian?
I don't know.
It's easy.
I think I don't know actually. I guess Arnold it kind of makes more sense because he's white. Like despite the accent, he's just a big dude.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is. Yeah, I guess they. I don't. Whatever.
Anyway.
He shapeshifts like the T1000 and the TX because they guess they can all shapeshift now.
Yeah.
And yeah, I kind of like the aspect that since this is a hybrid Terminator thing, but when it splits off, it creates its own strengths and weaknesses. Because I think the TX they pretty much just did a hybrid of T1000 and T800 plus a plasma cannon or something like that.
Yeah.
But it's just like it's too much, but it's also not good enough. But I think with the Rev 9, like when they're together. They have the advantage of okay, he can like make the blades. He's tougher.
Yeah.
I guess he has more processing power because it's two of them.
Yeah.
But when they split off, you clearly have like the endoskeleton one. He's tough. He's a brute, and he can fire weapons. And the liquid metal one, he can morph and shapeshift. But they also have the weaknesses of the other Terminators. So like if they combine, they have strengths and weaknesses. But when they split, they have strengths and weaknesses. I kind of like that aspect of it. I liked how it can. I don't know, hack into anything just by holding its hand up.
Like RoboCop syndrome.
Like RoboCop, yeah.
Just the knife.
Pretty much, yeah.
So,
what other notes did I put down?
T800 as a dad?
Yeah, here's my question about that. So we see that Terminator in the flashback, or 1998, which...
The only Terminator who's ever completed their mission?
Yeah, which by the way, the de-aging is fucking gorgeous. I like it a lot.
Like, obviously I noticed it because I know Terminator, like...
Well, I noticed it too, but I think as what it is, I think it looks really good.
Well, what was interesting, I went with
especially Sarah Connor.
Yeah, I went with my brother who's never seen any Terminator movie, and as I was watching it, I was like, oh, that's okay. And he was like, what do you mean? I was like, well, it's just okay. And he's like, wait, is this whole thing CG? And I'm like, yeah, they're all de-aged. And he's like, I thought they just got footage from an old Terminator.
Yeah,
and
you
just
think that, yeah.
And like, so I guess for the average person, they don't notice.
Yeah, clearly it's not as good as some of the stuff Marvel does. Like Michael Douglas in Ant-Man is perfect.
Or Michael Douglas in
Ant-Man and the Wasp is perfect.
Yeah,
and Michelle Pfeiffer in Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Yeah.
And like Robert Downey Jr. in Civil War.
I was thinking
pretty much all the de-aging stuff in Marvel's really great.
Endgame,
yeah.
Ant-Man.
Yeah.
They do a really good job. But
yeah. Is it the same company? Because I know for Gemini Man, which I haven't seen, I know the way they de-aged Will Smith was that they didn't get Will Smith. They
made a 3D rendering.
They pretty much did an entirely CGI Will Smith, a young Will Smith, which I think works well in stills, but not in motion. From what I can, I've seen, like you notice like he moves differently, but when you look at it just like as a still, it looks really good.
Yeah, it looks really good.
It's just the motion they have to get right.
Yeah, him. I don't. Why? Like, obviously, him being a dad is supposed to be like,
he's good now.
Yeah. But
my question is, since that Terminator looked like he was late 20s in that flashback or whatever, he looked very young. Like he looked younger than he was in T2. I think
Arnold was probably like 30, 27 maybe, give or take, in Terminator 2, 1999.
So let's say...
I think if...
So let's say from the look, he looked about 25, I'm going to say.
Yeah.
He looked about 25.
Right.
Why does he look like he's 80 from 20 years?
Bong, because he can.
Like he has like a full-on, like he's fatter, he has a full-on beard. Yeah. So yeah, so why does he look like that now? That's my big question. In 20 years.
He was fat.
He just let himself go.
No diss to Arnie, but he wasn't. He was just a dude.
Yeah, pretty much.
Which kind of makes sense because it's what does he say? He's like what, human tissue put over a cybernetic.
Yeah, it's human tissue over a metal endoskeleton.
So does that mean he can grow fat?
That is a good question.
I don't mean as in like him becoming fat.
Can he grow fat inside?
Like fat, like fat itself.
Can he like it's the skin and he bleeds?
Does he rust?
I don't think that metal can do that because it's future tech. Yeah.
I'd imagine it'd be like a Logan thing where it'd be like the metal inside him would start rotting. the tissue.
That's true, yeah. But then again, we don't know what the Terminator's made of, so it's probably like just a weird future metal.
Yeah, future metal.
Yeah, I think Arnold in Dark Fate, he was alright. I liked him more in here than he was in Genesis, because in Genesis, I don't know what he was doing in that. I don't know what he was doing in that. I don't know what he was doing in that, but I think in this one, I think he does his job well. He's clearly just the Terminator from T2, but
well, yeah, he's
pretty much just that Terminator.
They just wrote him in because it was like, it's Terminator, we have to put him on, and that was it.
Exactly, yeah.
I think what's really weird is it just looks like they filmed his whole like when they go to his house, it just looks like they filmed it on his
actual house.
Yeah, and like he was with the dog. I'm like, is that his real dog? Like
maybe
it all just looks like.
There's a funny detail I found out later on that you know how in all the Terminator films dogs usually bark at Terminators because they know like that's the first sign they know it's a Terminator. Yeah. Well, this dog is comfortable with Arnold, even though it's a Terminator. So I guess he just tamed him, or he's that close to humanity or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah, I like the idea that a Terminator grasped the concept of watching football and drinking beer. Because remember that's the first bit when you see him, he gets off out of his easy chair.
That is true. Maybe he's just contemplating by himself. He's just like, he's like statistically that team would win and blah blah blah.
Yeah.
Probably be like that.
And then what if somebody wins a surprising game? Like,
I did not calculate.
Would his system fry? Because he's shit.
I did not calculate that.
He's like, oh shit, and it just starts fusing.
Another question I have is I kind of like the fact that because this does bring the question of what does a Terminator do after it's completed its mission, which is to kill John Connor. Spoilers.
Wasn't it in some movie they said they die? Like wasn't
in some movies they say they just shut themselves off.
I thought like Salvation it was like they just shut himself down.
Yeah, but in this one they've retconned it to they just go off on their own and they try to find meaning.
Isn't that what they do in RoboCop versus Terminator, the comic book? Don't they trick him into thinking John Connor's dead? So he just turns himself off,
Probably,
and then RoboCop just rips him. I can't remember.
Maybe I don't remember.
Who gives a shit about?
Yeah, he gives a shit. Yeah, but I wasn't gonna say. Damn it, something about Terminator. Hang on. Yeah, Terminator Protocol. So, when the Terminator completes his mission, what he does is that he buggers off into the beach and. And he says he meets a family who was abused by the husband and dad. So he took care of it. I'm assuming he just killed him because he's the Terminator, and he just took care of him because he found purpose. I kind of like the fact that he's an AI. He doesn't know what to do, so he's like
he sort of just goes with the flow.
I'm just gonna go with the flow and find myself purpose. Oh, take care of this family,
like
perfect.
A real human.
Yeah, I think it said somewhere where one of the things he can't do is that he can't destroy Skynet.
Yep.
And he can't self-terminate.
Yeah.
I think that's the only
Again, RoboCop syndrome. He can't shoot.
Yeah, he can't shoot himself. Or
he can't kill the dude. What's his name?
Yeah.
OCP.
Yeah. But my question is, why does he give Sarah Connor like pings to where the Terminators are gonna show up? Also,
why does he know that?
Why does he know that? I mean, I know they try to explain it as there's a quantum field ripple, and I just know. He just knows.
Yeah, but how is he affected? He's a robot.
I know. I guess since he time traveled,
he
just knows.
It would make more sense if he was like, oh, they uploaded the schematics of a Terminator if I ever needed it.
Yeah, I thought that would do that too.
Like the timing of like if I ever needed the Terminator.
Yeah, I thought they would do that too. It would be like, I have detailed plans of Skynet. When they're gonna set up. I thought they were gonna do something like that, but no, it's just they just ping up. And also, my big question about it is, since this is a new timeline, are those Terminators Skynet or are they Legion? Because Sarah said that she's never seen something like Rev 9 before. So are the Terminators she's killed just versions of Arnold? Or the TX? Or
you're right.
Or just a few other T-1000s?
They would have to be Terminators because Arnold knows about them.
Yeah.
Because he wouldn't know anything about Rev 9. Because he doesn't know anything about Rev 9.
That's true, yeah.
When they talk to him, he's like, oh.
I don't know.
Okay, sure. But... him dying means nothing.
Yeah, it didn't mean anything.
Like obviously,
I prefer it over Genesis.
Like they set up his family. I'm like, who cares?
Yeah, we know.
Like who cares?
I like the fact that they brought back the Vision. His you know how he dies. You see, he's like all red, like 80s
the
Vision.
white highlights.
Yeah, I like that they keep that.
I like that noise a lot.
What other notes do you have?
We already mentioned the de-aging. The Terminator is the only one that completes the mission.
Here's a funny thing I remembered. You know the scene where in order to prove that bloody Grace is like a cyborg enhanced human, she catches a fly or she slices in half.
Yeah.
That reminded me of the Amazing Spider-Man 1.
When you catch it, and he just lets go. He's like,
yes.
Oh.
That reminded me a lot of that, and it was a really CG fly as well. Like that looked bad.
Can I just say, they're extremely accepting of robots. Also, they're coyotes. I'm not gonna mention.
Yeah.
Coyotes is a really political thing. Mexicans,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna mention all that stuff, but there are coyotes. Because there's a bit where they're talking and he goes, my uncle's a coyote. And I'm like, what? Okay, weird.
Sure.
Even my brother when she was like, I have an uncle, and he's like, is he a coyote, my brother? And then he's like, it's a coyote. He goes, I told you.
What do you know?
But the whole Also, Dino being them saying like, oh, you're the hero, not your kid.
I don't know why they kept that a twist.
Made no difference.
Yeah, I don't know why they kept that a twist.
I know it's supposed to be like, oh, it's her story, it's her improving to be like.
So instead of being Sarah Connor, she's just John Connor. That's not really that much of a difference.
Yeah, there was a bit in it which I knew they wrote, and they were like, oh, we're pretty smart.
What's this?
It's the bit where Grace is yelling at Dana for letting Sarah risk shooting the Rev 9 to let Sarah get into the helicopter, and she's like, oh, you shouldn't have risked your life for Sarah and all that stuff. And then Sarah looks at Dina and she's like, yeah, that's true. And I'm like, well, that they're just ripping off the conversation from T2 where she says, John, you can't rescue me. Except in T2 it's more meaningful because it's a mother to a child, and the child starts crying and Anna goes, what's wrong with your eyes?
I will say this, Sarah Connor was pretty good in this one.
She was kind of.
I like the fact that she's just been doing this for 20 years. She's just been.
I like that.
Doing chin ups, prepping up, getting ward up. I do like the fact that she's just this jaded prick.
I don't like the whole. I drink till I black out.
I don't like that part. I just like the fact that she's just a badass still.
Yeah.
Especially her from Terminator 1. Pretty much from 1 to 2, it's a big difference.
2, she's so cool.
But she just stays like that in 2. But now she just smokes more cigarettes and. Whatever.
I also have when I was watching it, I noticed Stephen Oyoung.
Yeah.
Do you know who Stephen? He's the guy who plays Mr. Negative.
Yeah.
He's in the movie. He gets his mouth slit open by the Rev 9.
Oh yeah.
He's one of the guys at the border place. And the second I saw him, I'm like,
that surprised me in this movie. This movie is rated R or MA-15 in Australia.
No joke.
Yeah.
It wasn't until the second fuck I was like.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, that's true. When they said fuck for the first time, I'm like, okay, that's your one fuck. And then they said it more times. I'm like. Okay, and then when you see him split people's
and
heads,
I'm like,
okay, fair enough.
And slowly in my head, I'm like, oh, it's rated R. I was expecting it to be PG-13.
Like Genesis.
Speaking of Genesis.
Oh, do you want to get to that now?
We are getting.
Okay. Oh yeah, one more thing. I just got a few more notes. In this one, they do my most hated trope of movies, which I thought was dead, but now it's back. They explain what an EMP is.
Electromagnetic pulse.
It fries electronics. I thought they were done with that because you remember in Civil War how
they don't just
Zima shipped it and then it just went off. You're like, okay, it's an EMP, but they don't say, oh, it must have been an EMP. It just happens. And this one, there's EMP, electromagnetic pulse. It fries electronics in a certain radius. I'm like, shut up. We know what it is.
It's such a buzz thing. It's like turning to someone and going, science.
Yeah,
thank you.
Or being like, this is a smartphone.
I'm not gonna pretend I understand the I get the concept of an EMT or the realism of it, but just call it an EMT.
Yeah.
Most people know what it is.
Yeah. Okay, so move on to Genesis.
Yeah. All right.
Stupid garbage. That's what I put down.
Hold on.
Oh yeah, stupid garbage. So Genesis.
The guy.
Where do you want to start from this? At the very end of this, we'll talk about the time travel. I think we should say we'll save the time travel to last because it's royally fucked. But we'll just save it till then because it's completely screwed.
I put Genesis as number 5 out of 6.
Fair enough.
I really like. I don't like Dark Fate. I like Genesis. The more I've thought about it, the more I've liked it because it is so fucking stupid.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
It's so dumb. Okay, so
it is really dumb.
So did you?
I got no notes for this. I'm just going off the top of my head. So you go ahead.
So one of the writers of this movie, Lita Kalaritas or whatever, was an executive producer of Birds of Prey.
Great.
The 2002 Huntress.
That should. Oh yeah.
And Alan Tyler.
Yeah, Alan Taylor, Thor: The Dark World.
Yep.
Director. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yep. I will say, I like the future design much more
Yeah, I think this is the best feature design out of all
because
the movies.
it's like everything's neon.
Yeah, because clearly in 2 and 1 it's low budget, so they can't really do much.
But it fits really well in 2, and 1 because it's all like lasers and all that stuff.
I prefer Salvation.
Um,
Well, Salvation is just shit, but
Matt
we'll get
Smith is credited. No, Matt Smith is credited as Matthew Smith.
to that.
I don't know why.
Oh, I love that part at the beginning where where you see Kyle Reese go to the time machine and you just see the camera pan and it just stops on Matt Smith and you're like, Matt Smith, it's the Doctor. What's he doing here?
What?
And he's Skynet, I guess.
Dude, he had to get cut from the film
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
because there's so much that he just didn't say or do.
And he only appeared as like a hologram at the end to be like, I am the new face of Skynet.
Yeah, I don't know why that really threw me when I was watching it. I'm like, Matthew Smith?
Yeah.
Why is he credited as Matthew
He
Smith?
just wanted to be professional in a Terminator film. Jason Clarke, probably the worst John Connor of them all.
This is what I wrote down. Jason Clarke has small eyes and a tiny mouth. He does.
He does.
As I was watching, I'm like, is he squinting? I'm like, fuck, he's not.
He looked better in Dawn of the Planet of the Apes than he did in this. Yeah, easily the worst John Connor. I prefer Christian Bale. I even prefer the guy from 3. He was alright. Yeah. Absolutely.
Sorry.
You're just reading your notes.
Yeah.
I'm just reading down the
I wrote
some facts.
I wrote this down. I think J.K. Simmons is great in it.
Goddamn time traveling robots.
This is really interesting.
Covering up the goddamn tracks.
So the guy, so the cops call him Optimus Prime.
What?
That's a nickname.
For the robots?
No, to J.K. Simmons' character.
I guess because he likes robots.
No, this is the thing. I was thinking about it. I'm like, Optimus Prime? And I was like, I get it now. It's because he talked about the robots, because he was the cop.
Yeah, he's the cop in...
Yeah. So there was a bunch of
yeah.
robots, and Sarah Connor drove in a truck into the thing. And so they're thinking robots and trucks, so they just call him Optimus Prime.
That's an unintentionally clever thing.
And yeah, I'm like, that's really clever. But
I don't think they meant it, but it's neat. He's pretty much just a... He's pretty much just a rehash of the scientist psychologist guy from 1, 2, and 3.
I thought he was at first.
Yeah, how he keeps appearing. Then by like in the first one, he's just a psychiatrist. He didn't see in the action, and then in 2, he sees the T-1000 go through the metal bars, and he's like, "Holy shit, it's real!"
Yeah, and then he drops the
and then in 3, he goes to Sarah Connor's grave to meet John Connor. And then he sees Arnold. He's like, "Shit, I'm out."
He's like, "I'm not again."
Yeah, I thought it'd be that guy. I thought it'd be like that's the only connection throughout the whole thing. But oh well.
Jai Courtney runs weirdly, and I know it's
because he's buff.
Yeah,
it's weird that he's buff in the future.
I'll quote my writing.
He's buff.
Jai runs weirdly because he's super jacked.
Yeah, I don't get why he's jacked. Kyle Reese is supposed to be skinny, and
Dude,
it's the future.
But he's like...
Yeah, he's ripped. He's big.
Fucking big, which makes no sense.
He's almost as big as Arnold.
I'll
say this. The de-aged Arnold in Genesis is pretty good.
I think it's kind of a disappointment how quickly they ended it.
That is true. I mean, they just shoot him in the chest, and then the T-1000 brings him back to life, and they meld him
I will
with
give this
acid.
movie credit for using the one F word in the right place. They used it when
Did they say?
Yeah.
When did they say it? I don't remember.
The teenager with the knife. He goes,
oh yeah, fuck you, asshole.
And
that is the only time you can. Yeah.
And it's perfect because
continuity.
Because in T1 that's where he learned "fuck you, asshole."
Yeah.
But when he said,
"I've been waiting for you."
I will say though, no Bill Paxton, 0 out of 10.
Oh well.
Not worth it. Was he dead by? No. Bill Paxton was still alive.
Yes.
Full disclosure: Bill Paxton is a national treasure. He's the best bit of Weird Science, being his one of the older brothers.
Is he the one that gets killed by a Terminator, a Predator, and an Alien?
Yes.
All 3 of them. Yeah, he's that guy. Yeah.
He was also an Agents of Shield.
There you go.
I think he was I don't know. I can't remember
the aging Arnold makes more sense than it did in Dark Fate, because you just see him age. Because was it they sent a Terminator back in the 70s to kill young Sarah Connor, and then they sent him back to protect her from another Terminator, and then he's just been aging for the past like 40 years. Because you see him in the 80s, he's like, yeah, he's decently old. He looks like a 40-year-old Terminator.
And then they give him gray hair.
And then they give him gray hair. And then in 2017, they made him age more to make him look like actual Arnold. Why not?
Yeah.
John Connor being a Terminator is stupid.
I will say
I
though,
don't like it. I don't like his Terminator effect.
I really like him as being a Terminator.
No, I don't like
Because
it.
out of everything, it's different. I think the biggest issue is because the trailer just fucked it.
Yeah, I think that's the one that jaded me the most.
I think if it was just in the movie and then Arnold shot him, you'd be like, oh my god, he's a Terminator. You'd be like, the T-1000 CG's worse than T2.
I agree. I don't mind the guy that played the T-1000 in this one. In Genesis, he's all right.
He's just
but yeah, it's a worse.
I will say that I do like the idea when he drops the liquid metal into the dead Arnold's head and then brings it back. I think that's really cool.
I like when he made a spear and he
and then he chopped it off with one arm, grabbed it,
and he just chucks it. I do like that.
Yeah. This is just something over for all Terminator movies in general. It's extremely weird that Kyle wants to bang his best friend's mom.
Just in general.
Well, this is the.
But he did. Wait, did he want to in Genesis?
So this is but this is the thing. They talk about it. He says he specifically.
That's true.
Like
he came back in time to. But do you know what I think that is? I think that's because, again, retconning. I feel like that's because John Connor told him, "You are my father," because you went back in time, banged my mom, and I was born. Yeah, so I need you to go back in time to protect her, as well as make sure I exist.
In T1, he doesn't know that. But I do like.
I feel like he did know that, and he's like, I came back for you, Sarah Connor. I feel like he did that just to be like, I have to bang her. Yeah. But with consent.
And then I die.
Then I die. Yeah. Oh well. I like Michael Biehn. He's great. We'll get to him.
Michael Bihn's scary.
I like him. We'll get to him.
Denny Dyson. They recast him. The guy who creates Skynet.
Yeah.
The
son of.
Yeah, the son of Miles.
Yeah.
Sorry, I mixed that up.
Oh, quickly going back to
Miles created Skynet, but his son in Genesis creates Genesis.
That's true.
Pointless.
Do what I think was kind of clever, but they didn't say anything. In Dark Fate, you know the Marine friends that Sarah has?
Yeah.
That's his son, right? That's Miles Dyson's son?
That's what I thought.
Yeah. I feel like that's what I'm gonna actually look.
That's what I thought. Yeah, because
that would be a clever thing. They don't say it.
I was trying to look at his
IMDb.
No. His in the movie, I was trying to look at his name tag.
Yeah.
And I think it might have been Dyson.
But
I kept going. It's so dark, I can't see what it says. And then he gets shot, and I'm like, who cares?
I'm gonna look it up. Keep talking. Yeah.
There's a scene that I love that I know you hate.
What is it?
The reloading bit.
The reloading bit.
The bit where Arnold and Kyle are loading all the magazines in, and they make it a competition.
I didn't hate that. I thought it was funny.
They start going.
I didn't hate it. It was more funny.
And then Arnold starts like seizing out. He's like, I do like he's like, I'm old, and then Kyle's like, but not obsolete. Yeah. I do. Yeah, that was dumb. That's a dumb line because it's said like 50 million times. Yeah, if they said it once, good line. I do like the line. Obsolete. I'm old, but not obsolete.
When John Connor as the Terminator is like fighting the T-800, and they're just like bantering at each other.
Yeah.
That is one thing I do respect about Dark Fate. The Terminators don't speak to each other. Or sorry, the Terminator and the cyborg chick, they don't speak to each other.
Yeah.
But in Genesis, they're like, you're a relic. You're an obsolete model from a deleted timeline. There's no point. It's like in T3 where he says, you are terminated.
Yeah, you're terminated.
It's like that, yeah.
Or Sarah, you're terminated, fucker.
Yeah.
So the only other notes I have on Genesis.
It doesn't say who he was, by the way.
The only other note I have on Genesis is Jai Courtney lobster photo. Now you have no idea what that is.
Lobster photo.
So I was looking up photos of Jai Courtney. I don't remember why. I'm not gay, I swear. And I just found this random photo.
That's a crab.
Shit.
That's a crab, not a lobster.
Oh yeah, you're right. Even so, why is he shirtless? Why is he's so fucking happy.
When he said Jai Courtney lobster, that reminded me of the scene in Venom when Tom Hardy got in the lobster tank.
Yeah.
That reminds me of that.
Other than that, I think it's stupid.
It's really
dumb. I like it.
We'll get to the time.
How long do you think it is?
Okay, we're doing this for all of them. I think it's 2 hours and 10 minutes.
It's the exact same time. You're very close. 2 hours and 14.
Damn. Take that.
What do you think the budget was?
Like 150 million? What is it?
Yep. That's just about. It's 155 to 58 million.
Sweet.
How much do you think it did well at the box office?
I think from memory, it did pretty decently. Probably made like maybe 350 million or something like that.
440
there you
million
go.
worldwide.
Yeah. So not terrible, but not great.
Yeah,
but
it made its money back.
Yeah. And they could do more Terminator bloody merch.
Okay, so this brings us to number 4.
So we're doing Salvation now.
What is that? No,
We're going in descending order.
I mean, your number 4 pick.
Oh,
for
yeah,
the
might
worst
as well.
one. Yeah, mine is Salvation.
Okay, Salvation. I don't hate Salvation as a lot of other people do, but then again, it's pretty boring and very ugly.
I'll put it this way: it's McG's best movie.
Yeah, that's the best praise anyone could give it.
Dissing Charlie's Angels 2 Full Throttle.
Oh yeah.
Charlie's Angels 1.
I just think.
And he directed the first episode of Chuck.
Great.
I think.
And a bunch of music video shit.
Yeah.
I just think it looks so disgusting. Like how you see the future in Dark Fate, and it looked a lot like Salvation for some reason, not the actual Terminator future. It's just so muddy and gray and brown and dirty and ugh. You know how like people complain about the coloring in like Marvel movies and like other movies are like, it's vibrant, but it's not like the blacks aren't black enough and whatever like that. Watch Salvation and then shut up, because that is the worst looking movie I've seen.
It's like someone smeared mud on the screen.
It's terrible. It looks awful, and there's no color, and the only color you see is probably orange and blue. Okay. But that's it. Orange, blue, and very muddy green.
And sometimes grey when a Terminator walks on the screen.
Exactly, yeah. We can talk about the Terminators, because in Salvation, they show the early model Terminators with the rubber skin. That's really interesting. I like that.
The Terminators some of the Terminators are guys in practical suits.
Yeah. In fact, a lot of things.
The T-600s is what they call.
A lot of things in this movie is practical, which is surprising.
It looks good though.
Yeah.
I will say that it has.
I like the big Terminator, the really big one.
I think they call it a spider or something.
Something like that. And I like the weird little motorcycle things it shoots out. I thought that was neat.
Yep. You know the female lead in this?
Bryce Dallas Howard.
No. Yeah.
No. I know what you're talking about. The soldier.
So
woman.
I have her real name and her name in the movie are both bad. This is her real name.
Yeah.
Moon Bloodgood.
Oh god, that's a bad name.
That's her. I think her first name's like Carrie or Kira something.
Corina.
But her credited name is Moon Bloodgood.
That's bad. Like
her parents hate her. Also, her character's name in the movie is Blair Williams. Now, do you see a problem with that?
It's very generic.
Think about it. What you might not know this actually.
Yeah.
The name Blair Williams, does that ring a bell?
It sounds a little bit familiar, but I'm not too sure.
It's a porn star's name. The second I heard Blair Williams, I was like, "Excuse me?"
Oh, that's good.
I thought I stroked out. I was like, "That's not what."
Oh, that's good.
So I had to play it back and like, okay,
that's funny. Yeah, Bryce Dallas Howard. She's Kate Connor, John Connor's wife.
Who's the best bit of this movie?
Anton Yelchin.
Exactly.
I think everyone agrees that Anton Yelchin's probably the best.
Elton's really good.
I think the fact that he does the James McAvoy, Michael Fassbender thing from X-Men. How like they do a pretty well enough impression of. He does a pretty well impression of Michael Biehn, but he also makes it younger. Yeah. And makes it his own as well.
I think.
Also, he sounded a lot like Tom Holland, which distracted me.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, he does.
It distracted me a lot.
He would have been a good Spider-Man.
Yeah,
Anton.
Rest in peace, Anton Yelchin.
Big ups to Chekhov. I like the idea of the human Terminator.
Yeah, I do too.
Like hybrid, half man, half Terminator.
He's better here than she was in Dark Fate.
I do think it's also kind of cool to see what
Skynet tried to do.
Yeah, as well as also like what happens before T1.
T1. Oh right, yeah.
Because this is before Terminator 1.
Well, here's my.
Because it explains a John Scar.
Yeah. Well, here's my view on that. I think. I think the main thing about the time travel, we'll get to it later, but this is briefly, that the main thing about the time travel is that it's cyclical. And it's pretty much a long flowing timeline. I don't think it is.
No.
I think
it's all like broken.
I know, but aside from that, I think from T1 onwards, it's a new timeline. It's just different. How, like, it's similar enough to the first timeline, which, whatever, I don't know. Because I don't think, a lot of people say, like, Kyle Reese had to go back in time and bang Sarah Connor to produce John Connor. He doesn't really have to. Like, it's not like Kyle Reese's sperm makes John Connor who he is. It's just the environment around John Connor.
Oh my god.
Like,
I swear to God. Sorry. I swear to God.
Oh, it's the siren.
What is this noise?
If you guys can hear that, there's a siren going on outside. We don't know what it is. It's probably like a fire alarm or, I don't know, an ambulance. But it's just going, whoop, 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 and it's annoying the shit out of him. It's really funny.
Fuck me. I'm gonna... This is so
You're gonna throw a chair out the window.
Yeah. Shut up. All right.
But yeah, I think.
Oh my God.
Yeah. It's
Sorry. All right. Just keep going.
Can you hear? Oh yeah, we don't know if we.
I don't know if I can
We'll
hear it.
we'll look back. But I think. Yeah, I don't think Carl Reese's sperm isn't the thing that makes John Connor who he is. I feel like in the original timeline, John Connor would have been the leader of the Resistance anyway. But the fact that the Terminators went back in time, tried to kill Sarah Connor, made Terminator 2 what it is, and Sarah Connor's just been prepping John Connor, it made him a better leader, ironically. Yeah. So they pretty much just shot themselves in the foot.
Yeah.
So so that aspect I kind of like, but also time travel's screwy. We'll get to it.
I do like as well that they used he used the tapes.
Yeah.
John used the tapes that Sarah had from that she made in T1, like the end of T1. I like that. It's cool because it's it sets it up. So like he's like, oh, I learned what to do now. And all this stuff.
What do you think of Christian Bale as John Connor?
I think it's weird.
Yeah.
Why is he skinny?
It's true.
Yeah, I thought he was like a space marine.
His American accent isn't that consistent.
Do you know what's really strange? Michael, is it Michael Ironside or Michael Ironside?
Michael Ironside.
He's in Starship Troopers. So when I just watch him in this, I'm just watching like a shittier version of Starship Troopers minus the robots. Even though Starship Troopers is fucking ace.
I'm just looking up stuff about this. Common was in the movie.
Common the rapper?
If you remember, he was in the movie.
Rapper Common, yeah.
Yeah. Helena Bonham Carter.
Yep.
At the beginning of the movie.
That reminds me, I wrote
and
down.
then she was Skynet or something?
She was the...
Cancer patient.
It made... Skynet made it look like her to what was his name? Marcus?
Yeah, Marcus.
Yeah,
Sam Worthington.
Yeah, Sam Worthington.
Sam Worthington, yeah.
America's most boring actor from Australia.
Thank you, Avatar.
Thank you, Avatar. Thank you, Clash of the Titans, Wrath of the Titans.
I'm reading this fact. The only reason he got the job here was because James Cameron liked him in Avatar. And he's like, yeah, use this guy. He's good. That's pretty much the only reason why he got this job. So good.
Oh, yeah, because
Yeah, Avatar came out before this, I think.
Shit.
Or it was during production.
Yeah, during production, 2009.
Yeah, there you
go. I think he's a pretty good... I think Marcus is a cool character.
Yeah.
What I don't get is the bit where she kisses him in the beginning because of cancer, and he's like, "That's what death tastes like." I'm like,
yeah, that's weird,
dude. Why? Also,
he's that desperate for ass. Yeah,
but like, he's selling his body because he killed 2 cops and his brother in a car crash.
It's something like that. I'm actually gonna look at the plot. It doesn't say anything. Yeah, it just says he was gonna go on death row. And sign over his body for medical... Okay, it's just what it was before. So they killed him and they tested on his body. Blah, blah, blah.
Best bit of the entire movie, in my opinion, is the interrogation.
When he's strung up.
He's strung up.
Yeah, that's cool.
I really like it. And he's like, he genuinely thinks you're human.
Yeah,
and he's like, he's screaming. His chest is ripped open. It's cool.
Well, now we've done with the stuff we like. Let's talk about the shit stuff in Salvation, which is everything else.
Why does Kyle know how to drive?
Because he's 16.
Because he turns around. So
I guess because he grew up in the war.
No. But this is what he says. He makes a point. He's like, Marcus is like, take the wheel, and he goes, I don't know how to drive. Yeah. And yet he drives like he drives
pretty
stick. Well. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
What do you really fucking? Another thing I don't like.
Oh, I was gonna say something, but I forgot. Yeah, you keep going. What was it?
Why is it so muddy?
Yeah, it's muddy. It's disgusting.
It's just ugly.
I guess because they're trying to be like, it's a war movie and it's the future, but at the same time, make it look good.
There's no threat in the story.
Because we know John Connor's going to live and send someone back in time.
Live.
Kyle has to live. Yeah, that's one thing that annoys me. Why does Skynet make John Connor public enemy number 2 and Kyle Reese public enemy number 1?
Should be the other way around.
It should be the other way around, but also, why do they know that Kyle Reese is his father?
That's a really...
How do they know that? Because it's not
they got a sample of their semen.
It's not like
that's a really good point.
It's not like John Connor told anyone.
They don't even have the same last name.
Yeah, it's not like John Connor told anyone that he's my father.
They're different ages in the same timeline, so it doesn't even make sense. Yeah, that's a fucking
because
good on them.
Skynet doesn't know that time travel is real yet.
Because Skynet,
they don't know it's real until they make it. So
the ending. Where Marcus is like, he can have my heart. So does that
mashed up heart that got punched earlier?
Yeah. So does he have just a human heart or a cyber-human heart?
I think it's like a half and half maybe. Like it's a human brain, human heart.
Like a what was no? I was gonna make a golf joke about the drink. What is it? Half lemonade, high. What's his name again?
Oh, I don't remember.
He's a famous golfer.
Something like that. Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, half. It's.
Oh yeah, they made CG Arnold. He looks terrible in this. I know it's 2009, but he looks terrible in this. Like, you can't completely CGI a guy until Gemini Man. We all know this.
No, excuse me. You can't CG a guy until you get 9 Lives starring Kevin Spacey, where they put Kevin Spacey in a cat and he voices over and they jump off. Have you ever seen it?
I think you've showed me this.
So there's
I think you showed me this.
I'm going off track because this is amazing. If no one's ever seen this, so there's a bit in the movie 9 Lives where his son's like an executive, like an owner of a business, and his son's gonna kill himself in a kids movie.
Yeah.
And he jumps off the building, and Kevin Spacey as the cat sees this, and he jumps off the building as well. And then they're falling in free fall from this building, and in CG they look into each other's eyes, and the son realizes his dad's a cat while they're about to die.
It's so dumb. I just looked at the movie.
It's directed by Barry
Sonnenfeld.
Yeah, Barry Sonnenfeld from Men in Black.
Men in Black.
Adam's Family.
Cat in the Hat.
Yeah, Robbie Amell is the son in it.
Oh shit! Yeah.
What
is this? This is 2016.
Anyway,
what?
We have to. There's a bit. Christopher Walken plays the guy who turns him into a cat. So I feel like it's the same character from Click. Connected. I hope it is. He dresses the exact same as well.
That's funny. That's funny. Okay.
So anything else about Salvation?
None that I can think of. Let me think. It's gotta be something else. I like the fact that I know a lot of people hate this movie. I think it's fine, but I kind of like the fact that they just made a Terminator movie in the future. No time travel. It's just, this is the Terminator future. Let's have an adventure here.
I kind of...
even though we know it's going to end with, John Connor not dying and blah, blah, blah. Oh, yeah, that was another thing. The original ending of this. The original ending of Salvation.
I haven't seen it. I haven't heard anything. What was
the original ending, this was the original ending before it got leaked and people hated it, so they changed it. The original ending was that John Connor gets punched in the heart, if you remember. Gets punched in the heart by the T-800, and he's on the deathbed, about to get the heart surgery. But in this ending, he doesn't get the heart surgery. He dies, and John Connor's dead, and they make Sam Worthington the new John Connor essentially. He gets like plastic surgery to look like John Connor. He's like, I'm gonna make everyone think I'm the leader of the resistance because they need a face, and they're not gonna trust a they're not gonna trust a cyborg. They're gonna trust John Connor. So I'm gonna make myself look like John Connor.
I kind of like that.
Yeah, I prefer that as well. But it got leaked, and people were like, that's terrible. They can't do that. The John Connor's a national treasure, and blah blah blah. So they all right, let's change it. Bam, done.
Timeline's fucked anyway. So who gives a shit?
Also, this was during the writers' strike, I think.
Yeah. Same time as Transformers.
Revenge of the Fallen.
Revenge of the Fallen.
So yeah. Unfortunate.
What do you think the budget was of this movie?
Oh, yes. The budget, I believe, was around 100 million.
No joke.
Or is it less?
It's more.
Oh, more?
It is the most expensive Terminator movie.
200?
Yep.
Why?
But it's the most expensive Terminator movie.
Why is that?
Even T1 didn't cost that.
Is it because of Christian Bale?
I think it's probably adjusted for inflation.
Maybe.
But still, it's the most expensive one. How much money do you think it made back?
I imagine it made decent money. Maybe 300 million? Less?
371.
Okay.
So it made a total of 171 million back.
Great.
That's
perfect.
Not good.
Salvation's completely worth it for the Christian Bale rant. If none of you ever heard it, it's pretty great.
How long do you think this movie is?
I watched this while doing some work, and I was on my phone, so I didn't really register it. So
it's 2 hours and 6 minutes.
Okay, it's not that long.
Yeah. Yep, the rant.
What the fuck are you doing?
My favorite bit is that you're a real nice guy, but done professionally. Also, I love his accent drops in and out.
Yeah, it goes from American to Welsh and British.
I'll kick your fucking ass.
Go walking on the set. I love it.
My favorite bit is when he goes,
No! The entirety of Salvation is worth it for just that rant. It's amazing. I love it. Have you seen the video someone made about that? How well, it's only audio because no one filmed it. It's just the audio. But someone filmed like a mock film of that.
Yeah. And it's like a dude.
It's a big blocky green screen robot and stuff like that. Spectacular. What are you looking up?
No, it's something else.
Okay, fair enough.
So yeah, that's Terminator 4 is
I don't hate it.
the fourth best one.
I don't. Yeah, I can say that. All right. Now for the third best one.
What's yours?
Terminator 3.
Mine's Terminator 3 as well.
It's obvious. It's obvious.
We're keeping going.
Okay, Terminator 3. Here we go.
This is the best parody of a movie ever made.
I agree. I think, look, as a Terminator movie, it's terrible. I don't know why they went this direction, but as a parody of Terminator 2 and 1, it's perfect.
What's your favorite line from Terminator 3? I've got mine.
Relax.
Relax.
It's like, let me out.
Relax.
It's so good.
No.
I'll describe it. So if those who haven't seen it, there's a part in the movie where where Arnold is not kidnapped, but they accidentally kidnap John Connor's like future wife, and she's like screaming for dear life because she's in the back of a van, thinking she's kidnapped, and Arnold just like turns around and just yells, "Relax!" Very straight face, walks forward. It's pretty great.
My favorite is Doctor the Hand. We did that to that one guy at the gas station. The dude's like, "Fuck this! I'm not fighting an Austrian man."
I mean, like, it's definitely very funny. It's entertaining.
I just have to tell you this about the writers.
It's 10 years after 2. Wow. Okay.
Yeah. So the two writers are John Ben Cato and Michael Ferris.
And what have they done?
They wrote Catwoman.
Oh, great.
And
spectacular.
Salvation.
Ugh. Don't let them write anything more.
Catwoman.
I want to see what the director's done. Has he done some decent?
I think the director's just a random.
He produced Hancock, not directed. He produced it, and he directed a bunch of other shit I'd never heard of.
Fair enough.
So yeah.
I think the most two of the biggest redeeming factors is the entire movie is Arnold. He does a really good job.
Yeah, I like him in this.
And
I mean, his only mission is to just protect them, or like his pretty much his main goal is just because he knows the war is inevitable and that the bombs are going to go off and whatever. So his role is to just put him in a bunker, safe and sound, and that's it. That's all he wants to do. That's all he's programmed to do. But John Connor and the chick doesn't want to do that, so he's like, God damn it, okay.
Yeah. And I think the other big thing about it is the ending.
Yeah.
Everyone dying is
I like that.
Amazing.
It's dark.
It's such a good ending though.
Yeah.
These two dipshits who wrote Catwoman came up with this ending.
Then again, they did write the rest of the movie, so.
Yeah.
Was it so? What do you? The TX is a big downgrade from not just not just T1000, just Terminators in general.
Yeah.
Because I guess is she more advanced than T1000? Is that what they're trying to make her out to be, or is she about the same?
I'd say
because they say in T2 the T1000 is an advanced prototype. So. Because they say he's an advanced prototype, so there's not a lot of him out there. Well, but also he's not that perfect, I guess.
Well, this is the thing. She could only change like.
She can shapeshift, or just her body.
No, that's what I mean. She can only shapeshift her body, but she can't change her face. If I remember.
No, she can change her face. She made herself look like John Connor that one time.
Oh yeah.
She can shapeshift, but she can't like turn into a floor or something. Yeah.
So I feel the T1000's way more superior.
Oh, absolutely.
Also, can she break anything off? Like, can she like cut? What am I trying to mean? Can she make like a knife and cut it off and like throw it at someone?
No, she can only. She has a bunch of weapons.
Yeah.
She has like a plasma cannon. She has like a flamethrower.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah.
It's stuff like that.
I just remember the truck scene in that movie.
Oh, the CGI truck flip.
Yeah. Good flip.
God.
T1000's better. T1000 is the best Terminator. Better than Arnold.
Yeah. I'm trying to think what else about Terminator 3. I like the guy that plays John Connor. I think he's probably like the third best of all of them.
Yeah, number one is
Nick Stahl. Nick Stahl, that's his name.
Well, I have my favorite John. I know your favorite John.
Oh, absolutely. We'll get to that.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's all right. I think as a grown up version of Edward Furlong, I think I can buy it.
Why is he blonde?
Yeah, that's weird. I guess he dyed it just so he could stay off the grid.
What I like is I like his like attitude being like I just don't want to do this shit.
Yeah.
Which makes sense. Like in 2, he sort of like he's like that, but he has to sort of accept it. But in 3, he's like, "Fuck you."
I think this is definitely a different thing because the objective of the previous Terminators is to either kill Sarah Connor or kill John Connor, one person. But in this one, John Connor gets himself so off the grid, no one knows he exists, I guess. So the Terminator goes back in time. Is like, all right, you don't have to kill John Connor. If you come across him, do, but just kill these like kill the lieutenants of the Resistance. Kill like the other higher ups. Yeah, not just John Connor.
Yeah, kill the lower tier guys.
Yeah, exactly. Just like might as well, since we have a time machine.
I think that's all I can really say about.
Yeah, that's about it. You are terminated.
Okay. How long do you think this movie is?
Less than 2 hours, so probably an hour and 50.
Yeah,
Oh,
basically on the money, an hour and 49.
oh, sweet. And I'm assuming it costed around 110 million or something, 150 million.
187.3.
Wow, that's a lot more than I
Didn't
thought
make
it
its
would
money back.
be. Oh, how much did it make? Oh,
Do you think
I'm supposed to guess it. 200 million.
Actually made 433.
Oh.
So it made its money back.
Okay, good.
All right.
Good for them.
So the second best Terminator movie, I'm pretty sure we have the exact same
The
one.
Terminator.
Yeah, the Terminator.
The first one.
The OG.
Terminator 1.
That
Should be called Terminator 1, just so people don't get confused.
What really annoys me about Terminator movies now is that the first one started so well and it was such a passion project. Like,
And it's simple, too. It's
But
just
like-
a simple
yeah,
story.
but James Cameron, how much fucking shit he put into that. And,
Oh, yeah, it's because, like, I think, he pitched it to different studios who didn't want it, and the ones who did want it didn't want him to direct. Because he's like, I want to make this thing, and I want to direct it.
Yeah, because he did Piranhas
Yeah.
3D.
But yeah, the amount of shit he went for just to make the first one.
He paid out of his own pocket.
Yeah, like I found a funny fact where they had no lighting, like no lighting crew at all for Terminator 1.
Really?
So what they did was they didn't have the budget to have a lighting crew. What they did was they filmed exclusively at night just so they can not have a permit, and film I guess illegally.
It fits though.
But what they did was that they specifically chose streets with those blue like street lamps.
Yeah.
Just so like we have to get that look. And that's the best light we can get, so we have to film at this time and get that lighting, and it works really well. Like it has that nice blue sheen.
Yeah, it's
to
like
everyone.
grind, like everything's. I really like it.
Yeah, pretty much. I like it as well.
My favorite line from this movie is "You're terminated, fucker."
Sarah Connor, yes.
Yeah.
I like that whole monologue Kyle Reese has about the Terminator, where it's like it can't be bargained with, it can't be reasoned with, it will kill you.
Yeah.
Like I think like. Originally, I know James Cameron doesn't want people to think that this movie is a horror movie, but it is essentially.
It is a horror movie.
It is a horror movie.
There's no. It is.
It's sci-fi. It is a horror movie, but it's sci-fi.
It's like Alien. It's a sci-fi.
Pretty
horror.
much, yeah.
Actually, he'd probably be like,
Yeah.
"Don't call aliens."
But I like the fact that the Terminator is essentially it is a movie monster. No one classifies as a movie monster, but it is a movie monster.
It is a movie. Yeah,
but I think it is the ultimate one because it's a robot. It is emotionless, and it has one mission, and it's going to do it no matter what.
That was kind of cool.
Yeah, it's so like it's so single-minded. Where
Sorry, I just
what
that person there. The blind just ripped off from the roof on its own. That was awesome.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
Anyway, back to T1.
Yeah. Anyway, so I like the fact that it's just single-minded. It has one job to do, and it will do anything to do it to do that job, and that's what's terrifying.
One thing that I don't get, I understand that because it's the first Terminator movie, so
Yeah.
like the rules are kind of set there,
Yeah.
and not later on.
We'll get to it.
The T1000 doesn't know. There's T1000.
T1000, yeah.
T800
Yeah.
doesn't know what Sarah looks like.
Yeah, I think because the fact that it's in the future, and the future is so... Well, I don't think they didn't know what the internet was, so...
Yeah, that's what I mean. So,
since the internet doesn't exist...
So the only thing they had was she lives in LA.
She lives in LA, and her name is Sarah Connor. We don't know her middle name, it's just Sarah Connor.
We don't know what she looks like, don't know where she lives. You have to check the yellow pages.
Pretty much, yeah.
But it fits for the movie because like
Yeah,
the
I like
pacing's really good because it's like he kills this one person and you're like, why is he killing
A Sarah
these-
Connor.
Yeah, why is he killing these random people? And then
Oh,
it's
she
like,
killed another
oh.
Sarah Connor. And even dawns on the characters as well, how like the police like, okay, this guy killed this woman, Sarah Connor. Okay, so what? Look at the other one,
He killed-
Sarah Connor. Oh shit.
Sarah Connor. Who's in holding? Sarah Connor. My favorite bit of that movie is the police raid.
Yes, where he just
Where he
shoots
he
them
goes
all.
batshit.
He
and
just
he's
kills
like,
everyone.
My favorite. There's a bit where he walks in. He's in the hallway. He turns a corner and he just flies into the hallway and
Yeah.
just keeps going. I'm like, jeez.
I don't think we don't give Arnold enough credit. He is the perfect.
He's the man.
He is the perfect
He's a
one for
fucking
that
man.
role. I think like I know a lot of people like to take that as a joke. How be like, oh, he's perfect because he can't act and he has to say robotically. But I think like the real reason he's great for that role is because the amount of effort he went into studying it is phenomenal. Because I mean, he went in going, okay, there's a role for a robot, so I'm gonna act like a robot, but I'm gonna take the step further, where he moves like a robot. He moves very robotically, and he does really subtle things like he moves his eyes first before his head,
Yeah.
because he's like that's the most efficient way a robot can do. So he moves his eyes first, and then he moves his head.
But what I like about
And he also did,
that's just good acting.
I know, yeah.
It works so fucking well.
And also he does stuff. I think like behind the scenes and like before the movie even started, he did stuff like he disassembled and reassembled guns to the point where it's automatic.
Yeah.
So it's like his weapon work as a robot is efficient. So I feel like physically wise, he's the best actor for this role because he's that robotic and he acts robotic too. I'm not saying it as a criticism. I'm saying it's a praise that he acts robotic. The makeup stuff isn't that good when he pulls his eye out.
My favorite,
it's not that good.
When he takes his eye out and the guy's like, "You gonna be long?" and he's like, "The option."
Fuck you, asshole.
Yeah, just like all the options are really nice ones and just fuck you, asshole.
No, but I mean like the scene where he pulls his eye out and you see like the rubber Arnold face. I'm like, low budget, 80s, not that good. Whatever, it's fine. What else is good about this movie? Michael Biehn's really good as Kyle Reese.
Yeah.
So someone pointed out to me about Terminator how the scenario where Kyle Reese goes back in time and he's in the past, people just think he's a crazy person unconditionally. Because when you really think about it, the movie's really well written in that regard because he gets traveled back in time, but he's going up against a robot who looks identical to a human. I mean, he's pretty tough, but he's pretty much identical to a human. He goes back naked, no like future technology, so so he doesn't have any proof he's from the future. And what he's saying is batshit insane. And when they say stuff like, but he shot bullets in him, he's like, well, body armor exists, Kevlar, stuff like that, and he's probably on drugs, and he's a really big guy, so he's not a robot, he's just a really big dude.
And he's foreign as well.
He's foreign, yeah, exactly.
What does Bill Paxton say to him? Nice night for a walk, isn't it? He's like, nice night for a walk, isn't it?
He's a couple cans short of a six-pack. Hey, fuck you, asshole. So good.
And he rips his heart out. No, he just goes boom, straight through his
heart out.
Fucking
so
Temple of Doom.
Yeah. I like the fact that I think what's really funny and consistently about all the Terminator films is that when they travel back in time, the Terminator always lands perfectly. He always, even in Dark Fate, how he drops from the air, he lands perfectly in that superhero pose. And they land with the 2 feet on the ground, the 1 fist. But all the humans just like plop on the ground.
Yeah.
They're just like, fuck, oh god, that's painful. Because I guess time travel only works when it's in midair.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
One thing
they have to be suspended in the air.
Yeah.
And it's a time and space machine.
Yeah.
Because we don't know where they are in the future.
How long do you think this movie is?
The one I watched was like over 2 hours, so I think 2 hours and 14 minutes.
Yeah, it's an hour and 48.
Oh wait, okay. No, I think I watched the the extended version or something like that. So.
Fair enough.
Because there's a bunch.
It's obviously the most. It's the.
Oh no, I'm thinking of Terminator 2. Sorry, Terminator 1. It's definitely shorter. Yeah, sorry.
It's Terminator definitely has the lowest budget.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's only 6.4 million. I think that's adjusted for.
How much did Arnold get paid?
I think it's adjusted for inflation, like since the 80s.
Yeah,
but
look at how much it made.
It made a pretty good bang for its buck, to be honest. It made 78 million back.
That's all right.
Which even for Cameron,
for an 80s low budget movie,
for James Cameron, who had no idea what
how big this would be.
Yeah. It's really surprising how well it's done for a movie that's
very low budget.
Yeah.
Well, Cameron's a really great director. Yeah. So
one of the writers, Gail Ann Hurd.
I got a funny fact, but yeah,
she produced the Hulk. And the
Ang Lee's Hulk
and the Incredible Hulk both.
Huh.
Guess she likes the Hulk.
What do you know? She just likes big buff dudes.
Nice. That's why she worked in Terminator.
Yeah, exactly.
Because Arnold's there. He's with
he's
with his pecs out. He's naked.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
Here's a fun fact about Terminator I found out like a week ago. So the reason, the reason why James Cameron only directed the first two and nothing after that until he wrote on Dark Fate. He wrote and produced Dark Fate. He wrote some of it.
Jeez.
But like it's all in his name again. But the reason why that is because for the first movie, he made a deal with the production company, or I think the main producer, that he will sell the rights to the Terminator to them. He won't get a cent from like any sequels or whatever because he didn't know how big it was going to be, just so he can direct. So he said, I'll sell the rights to you if I can direct it, and it's like deal. Oh. And after it became big, he didn't get a cent from any movie that he didn't make. So he didn't get anything from Terminator 3, Salvation, or Genesis. He didn't get any money from that. And also any of the merchandising and stuff like that as well, and the comics and video games. So it's only 1 and 2 and Dark Fate that he got any money from, which I think is just a fact. Well, he got it back from Dark Fate because the rights went back to him this year.
Oh,
it's like It's like it's a 30. It's like a 35-year
Yeah.
law thing. So there you go. Anything else you guys say about Terminator 1, the first one?
It's a great stepping off point for Terminator.
It's great, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
How do you feel people would see it if they've made no sequels?
I think it would just be one of those films that just kind of like, it's just like people just like it for it being a one-off.
Yeah.
So
Kind of like how Back to the Future used to be.
yeah, well, I was thinking more like Evil Dead, like the first
Okay,
Evil
yeah.
Dead, because it was so popular, because it was so low budget and it was so violent.
Yeah.
Kind of like this, it was so low budget and violent, and it just got so successful, and then it just spawned sequels because of its success.
Yeah.
But I think if it was just on its own,
People would be like, yeah, that was a good one.
That-
I wish they made a sequel to that, but oh well. It's pretty sweet.
I think it might actually, to be honest, it would probably be lost in obscurity.
That's true. Or maybe they do like here's a 20 year later sequel thing, which is probably my least favorite genre right now because everyone's making that for some reason.
You mean Blade Runner 2049?
No, that's a good case.
Sorry, what did Joel say?
That's a good case.
2049?
2049.
2049.
Blade Runner 2049. But I think like, is there any other movie franchise aside from Back to the Future where they haven't made like a 20-year sequel or reboot kind of thing?
I was going to say Indiana Jones, but they did like a 10-year one.
Because Back to the Future is the only case where that hasn't happened, and that's why I'm grateful for it.
Even Star Wars has done it.
Yeah, Star Wars has done it. Yeah, Star Trek. Yeah,
I can't think of one. No.
yeah.
I was going to say the Dark Knights, but there's like... Oh, you know, the Dark Knight do a jig jump.
That's true.
Like 8 years from the Dark Knight Rises to the Dark Knight, because he stops being Batman.
Yeah, but that's not 80s, so.
It's still it's still a jump.
I guess, yeah.
So they still did
Toy Story 3.
Yeah.
15 years or whatever it is.
The Incredibles.
Oh yes, 15 years.
Set it directly after.
Okay.
Okay, so the last and final one,
The best one.
T2.
Yes, the best one.
It's-
Everyone's favorite.
It's God tier.
It is.
One of the greatest action movies
It's
ever
amazing
made.
how this is the one where everyone universally agrees, yeah, it's the best one, and it's just a great movie.
Yeah. Like I feel like if you
I've seen this movie way too many times.
So have I. It's so
it's
good.
that good. Like I think Terminator 2 works well. I think it probably works well on its own as well. Yeah, you don't need to watch Terminator 1 to
No.
get Terminator 2. I mean, it enhances it obviously.
well, no, but they explain it at the beginning.
Yeah.
They
but-
do the
They pretty much, yeah.
Skynet
Yeah.
and the
Oh yeah.
skull.
Now we're in Terminator 2. We'll get to my favorite John Connor, not Edward Furlong.
My favorite John Connor is Edward Furlong,
No.
and will forever remain in infamy as weird, not drugged out Edward Furlong.
Hey, what's up, man?
You know how he got cast?
How would he get cast?
The casting director was at the local swimming pool,
Ha!
and she
That
noticed
sounds weird.
she noticed him like walking around talking to people and stuff. And
Hey
she,
man, what's up? How you doing?
And she was like, oh, he's really like, I like his charisma stuff. She went up to him and she said, oh, you ever thought about acting? And he's like, no, not really. And she's like, well,
We did pretty well.
He did
for,
really
for
well.
his first role.
but there's the way that Edward Furlong tells it is great. He's like, I was just hanging around the swimming pool and this woman just kept giving me the eye. Like she just kept looking at me. And I'm like, dude, that sounds really creepy.
Yeah, yeah. But my favorite John Connor is at the very beginning. You see the future John Connor, and he just scowls and he looks and he's very menacing. He doesn't say a line.
And he's got the Bale scars.
He's got the big scar. But it's not the Bale scars because he's the first one to have it.
Ah, yeah, you're right.
And he looks at the binoculars and you just see him. You're like, that's John
My
Connor.
son.
That is John Connor. Dun 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 dun. This is the best opening sequence as well.
Yeah,
for
because the
Terminator films.
flame thing.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
The
great.
whole
It's so fucking good.
as good as this movie is.
I don't even know what else we can say about it. It's just so good.
my favorite bit, in the whole thing
I'll look it up. Hang on.
is Robert Patrick as the T-1000.
Yes, he's so
The
good.
way he looks, talks,
And runs.
And runs. Like there's one of my favorite bits is when he's in John's room and he just starts feeling everything. And you can make that look like really like robotic and like
Yeah.
kind of, but he was like he's like like he's really getting into it, which is really creepy. Also, he kills a dog.
Yeah, that's true. I like the fact that.
That's a really good scene as well when he tries to trick John into
Oh
coming
yeah,
home.
and the Terminator's on. Where he's
Yeah.
like, yeah,
Is it-
okay, I've done this
Yeah,
trick. I know what it
he's
is.
just like it's like what's the name of the dog? I forgot what he said. Then he goes, I hear Wolfie. Wolfie's barking. Wolfie's fine, honey. And he's like,
It's kind of that's kind of an unknown effect that. Did they stop doing that?
I'm fine.
Have they stopped doing that? The voice changer thing, Terminators. Have they stopped doing that? Because they only used it in 1, 2, and 3. Is that right?
I think they did stop doing it. Yeah.
I don't know. I like that power that they have, or power ability, whatever.
But that implies that they have a base level, or it's either that implies that
I think they can just they just hear a recording and be like, "Yep, got it."
Yeah, but it just means so that implies like either they have a base level, like they have a base level where they can change the voice, but then it always resorts back to that, or they pick a voice. So Arnold picked asshole.
Yeah, that's pretty funny, you know. Yeah, Robert Patrick's really great. I think all the little stuff he does, and mainly the
eyes.
Well, the eyes and like the special effects as well, because
my favorite line from him, that's a nice bike. And then in the next bit you see him, he's just on the bike. I'm like, Jesus Christ.
I love the fact that I know that the trailer spoils that the T-1000 is who he is, because I get it because of marketing or whatever, but I love the fact that the first two Terminator films, especially the second one, they don't let you know that he's a robot. Like, think about the first Terminator. You don't know he's a robot until Kyle says, yeah, he's a cyborg from the future. And, like, he gets, like, shot and whatever.
Until he's thrown through a fucking wall.
Yeah, and then, but in Terminator 2, you think, like, okay, it's just repeat of the first one. Arnold's here to kill John Connor, and Robert Patrick's going to protect him, of course. And, like, you also think that as well because Robert Patrick is more social than Arnold. Like he can hold up a conversation, and he can like investigate and whatever, and I guess he looks more natural. But the moment where he's like get down and he shoots him and you see the liquid metal, you're like, oh, Arnie's the good guy, shit.
And then that Asian guy just standing there, hey, you can't be in here, because it's fucking annihilated. He literally could have ducked as well, because even Arnold says duck. Get down. Like he could have just went, oh shit, I'll do that as well, because this guy's holding a sawed-off shotgun.
I think what makes the T-1000 effect really good, it's not just the fact that the CGI is pretty good for its time. It's that they blended with practical effects as well. Yeah. And they were really smart about it as well. God. Like they only use CGI for like morphing and like when he turns into the floor.
One of my favorite bits in that movie is when he's at Miles's house and he slices his arm open and he just goes like that, and he just does that and like cracks it out.
Yeah, just the weird robot hand.
And he goes, listen to me very carefully. And then she's like, oh god. There's a lot of really good stuff in that. One thing that I think's amazing, that practical effect, is is when they cut his head open.
Oh, is this the deleted scene?
No, it's in the full movie. I think it's in the full movie. It's when they cut out his head. When they cut his head open to get rid of the microchip.
Yeah, it's a deleted scene. Yeah.
Is that a deleted scene?
It's a deleted / extended scene. They deleted in the theatrical one, but they put it back in for like the extended ones. Is this the one where they're in the mirror? Or yeah, that's the deleted scene.
I've only ever seen that, but
well, there you go. That's the extended scene.
I thought that was just the regular version of Terminator.
Yeah. Well, then that's.
It's a pretty important bit because that's how they determine him like having feelings.
I think they explained it. They deleted it, but then they explained it as he's just a learning one. Like they don't say like, oh, I have to turn it on. It's
and then Sarah contemplates fucking smashing it.
Yeah.
And John's like, no, you can't kill him.
God, what's great about that is just the whole practical effect that they use for the mirror, because Linda Hamilton's a twin, and so they used her twin in that mirror to look like Sarah Connor, and they also they put Arnie in the mirror. I'm trying to explain it. They put Arnie in the mirror, and they have like a prop like head thing so they can get the chip out, but they have to like do the the motions exact. I've always noticed that in a few movies, especially remember Iron Man 2, how he's in the mirror and he like checks himself out. He checks like the arc reactor. That's one of those practical effects as well, where Robert Downey Jr. is in the mirror, but it's a guy that looks a lot vaguely like Robert Downey Jr. from the back. They use that a few times. Yeah. I kind of missed that, but now it's just mirrors just on the side.
It's like one of my favorite example of that is He's
texting everybody.
Shut up. In Evil Dead 2, when he looks in the mirror and he goes, "You're fine," and then Bruce Campbell reaches out in the mirror and grabs the standard, and he goes, cool. "You killed all your friends, your sister. Think you're fine?" I'm like, that's such because you don't notice it.
Yeah.
It's really well done. It's like a duck suit. There's a famous bit in Duck Suit when he's walking past the thing and he pretends to be the dude in the mirror, and they go home with that.
But they also used another twin in the scene where the T-1000 kills that one guy, that cop, that security guard. They use twins. That's neat.
Yeah. Lyndall Hamilton.
And he just kills him with the finger.
Lyndall Hamilton, the twin. Oh yeah, it gets him, and then it cuts to like the practical one. He's just like seizing out. And he looks back like that.
That's the most effective way to kill someone. You just point at them and then just instant. Yeah.
Yeah. Just.
Yeah, I love T-1000's use of his blades, and they turn to hooks as well.
Yep.
Because he only uses guns sometimes, right? Like he uses he uses the gun pistol or whatever, sparingly, and then he uses a machine gun, the helicopter. But that's really it. All the rest he just uses like his knives and blades and stuff like that. Another cool thing, effect-wise, is when he's flying the helicopter, he uses 4 arms.
Yeah.
To fly the helicopter and use the guns as well.
Oh my god.
That's a sweet effect.
That is so gobshite.
I know.
That the bit where Arnold has the chain gun, he had to kill at least one cop. Like I guess he could have calculated it because he's a robot, but when he's just there going,
yeah,
and he's just taking them all, I'm like, at least one. Like he clipped him in like the shoulder, maybe busted an artery, bleeding out.
Yeah.
I love that bit where he shoots security guard in the legs. He's like,
That's
what
true.
are you doing? He's like, you'll live. He just puts it back in like
You had a problem with that, didn't you? You had a problem with him shooting people in the kneecaps because of the time travel rules.
Yeah. So if he kills people, or if like that man could be paralyzed. He said he lives, but I'm assuming he's paralyzed for life.
Yeah.
What if his son? What if that guy's grandson, the security guard, is one of the head leaders of the rebellion, and he just fucking capped his legs, and so now he can't bang his wife to have a kid.
Oh well, I don't think it'll affect that. Maybe, I don't know.
Well,
it's not like he shot their dick off or something.
Well, time has always been a weird
yeah. Do you want to get to that, because I don't think there's really much else to say about Terminator 2. It's the best.
If you're gonna watch any Terminator, watch Terminator 2 and 1.
How do you feel about 1, 2, and Dark Fate, the only ones that are canon?
That's disappointing.
It's fine that it erases 3 Salvation Genesis. I'm happy about
I want
that.
Genesis. I want Jai Courtney running weirdly.
God.
Naked Jai Courtney running weirdly.
Okay, so now let's get down to the time travel, which is the most batshit thing in this whole franchise.
Alright, let's keep it really short.
Okay, do you want to... Wait, how long we've...
An hour and 22 right now.
Okay, that's not bad.
Yeah,
okay,
maybe an hour 30.
Alright, so let's go for the movie by movie. So in Terminator 1, right, all Skynet does is they send one Terminator back in time to kill Sarah Connor before John Connor was born, therefore erasing his existence, and therefore they win.
Yep.
So in response to that, the Resistance sent back Kyle Reese to protect Sarah Connor, and killed that Terminator as well. All right, so that's the first instance. That's simple. That's fine. I guess it's cyclical because he bangs Sarah Connor anyway.
Yep.
And makes John Connor. Okay. Now Terminator 2, right? It doesn't get complicated, but it does add a little bit where the Skynet's like, okay, we have a backup plan. We'll send back the T-1000 to kill young John Connor.
But the rebellion have the
a
T-800.
backup plan.
They have the T-800, which they've programmed to send it back to to protect John.
My question is, when do they send back the Terminators? Like, clearly they send the first... They send the T-800 to kill Sarah Connor in the previous one.
You'd think
But then they send the T-1000, the better one, after... I guess because they just did it anyway.
Maybe in the future there was like a riff, like
a ripple.
No, I mean, yeah, like something like a shockwave, and they were like, oh, they just sent it. Let's do another one. Or maybe why wouldn't you send them a week before the T-1000 even shows up
and prep Sarah Connor? Yeah.
Yeah, to be like, oh, let's not go to LA. Let's go to like Cancun. Go to Canada.
I don't know.
Because they coordinated it when they sent them
yeah.
at the same time. So I imagine they coordinated to him to be sent a couple of weeks before. So like Back to the Future, where he's like, I got all the time in the world.
I got a time machine. I'll go 10 minutes.
Yeah, not like an hour. And even when he shows up, Doc gets shot, even though obviously he lives. But it's like...
Let's briefly talk about Back to the Future. I love the fact that he gets back 10 minutes, right? So how far away... So Hill Valley's very far away from Twin Pines Mall, right? It's like a couple of miles,
right? He runs in 10 minutes.
He runs like 5 miles in 10 minutes. Like that's impressive for Marty McFly.
It's Teen Wolf power.
It's Teen Wolf power, yeah.
Up on the van going... Arr!
Yeah, exactly. He got a van. But yeah, so that's T1 and 2, right? That's pretty simple. And then they kill the T-1000, but they're like, oh, we have to destroy all the remnants. So I have to turn... So
and they blow up Skynet.
Yeah. And then they blow up Skynet as well. So
Miles goes,
that's it.
I can't keep it.
God. So that's 2. Okay, in 3... what they do now is that the Skynet send back the TX to kill not John Connor but all the other Resistance.
And if you
members.
happen to see him,
if you see John Connor, just shoot him.
Go for it, love.
But so then Resistance sent back another T-850 to protect John Connor and his wife, but that's it.
Yeah.
I guess not the other ones. What dickheads?
You dickhead.
What dickheads?
Yeah.
So that's the simplest form of time travel they use. I guess the future's inevitable. Well, they're not really inevitable. They just postponed it. Be like, not 1997. Now it's 2003.
Yeah, because what's really weird is
why not?
I think I remember like Terminator 3, Terminator 4 Salvation is like the first bit is set in 2003.
Yeah.
But then the rest of the film's 2018.
Yeah.
So he died. Who
died?
So it took what? It took
15 years.
It took a collective of 15 years to literally turn everything into an apocalypse. That's pretty fucking. So wait, how old's John then?
No, but like the bombs went off in 2003. So it was destroyed anyway.
Well,
if you remember, all the nuclear bombs just destroyed everything. So all the missiles. Anyway, so that's 3. Salvation, there's no time travel, so we can skip that. In Genesis, this is where it gets confusing. So in Genesis,
it's
right?
time travel and time travel and time travel.
God, so in Genesis, the first form is is Skynet sent back a Terminator, I guess a T-1000, might as well, back to the 70s to kill young Sarah Connor. But then the actually, we don't know. We don't know who sent back the T-800 to protect Sarah Connor throughout all that time. It's not the Resistance. It's just someone else we don't know. I guess they were going to do it in a future sequel. RIP. So
it was Matthew Smith.
Yeah. So therefore, erasing 1, 2, and 3 completely.
Yep.
And then the Resistance. Wait, hang on. The future
they send the Asian T-1000 into the past.
So the future that the Resistance are in, that's the future after Salvation, right? Despite the fact that Salvation is not canon, I guess, because John Connor...
It's an altered timeline because something changes. Because
I don't know.
Because when Kyle comes back, he's like, "You're supposed to be weak and shit," and she's like, "No, I've had Arnie with me this whole time." So maybe this was the original timeline. Remember the bit when he says to his kid self,
I'm trying to think.
to his kid self, and he's like, "This is for you. Remember Skynet is Genesis." And then when he's having all the flashbacks, he looks in the mirror and he goes, "Skynet is Genesis." I'm like, "Oh,
yeah, why'd you do that?"
It's like dumb.
So then, so in this future, right? This is the future post Salvation or post 3. So once Kyle Reese gets sent back in time, it's like I know what it is. It's like in Back to the Future Part 2, where Doc and Marty in the future, Biff goes back in time and changes the 80s.
Yeah.
So Doc and Marty time travel back, but they go back to that 80s because that's the new timeline. Because they cross time, but they can't go back to that future anymore. So that's what that is. Kyle Reese is now in the 80s, about to protect Sarah Connor from. To protect the T-800 from that timeline, but that doesn't matter because the Terminator from the 70s kills that Terminator. But also, Skynet also sent back a Terminator. They sent back a T-1000 in that timeline anyway. So what's the point? Because they send the T-800 back to kill Sarah Connor, but they sent the T-1000 back to kill Kyle Reese anyway, or something. Where did that T-1000 come from? The Asian one. Where did he come from? That's my big question.
Maybe he was sent as a replacement for Arnold because Arnold was sent further back in time because he rescued Sarah as a kid. So this is Skynet's replacement.
Maybe, yeah. Okay, so that's that part. And then later on, they time travel forward to the year 2017 because now the war is going to happen in 2017. Again, why not go back to 2016?
And prevent it rather than like a couple of weeks.
That day.
That day. Literally do what Sarah tried to do. She tried to fucking take out Miles in the second one.
Yeah, in 1997.
She's just like, he's here.
So Sarah and John get sent to 2017. The Terminator can't come in because metal and whatever. And John Connor, he's now the new Terminator. Did he go back? Yeah. Oh, he went back in time to make the new Skynet. He went back in time to make the new Skynet, and then make Genesis. But how long was he there for? Years? to make the company?
A weekend.
A weekend. In one weekend, he made Skynet. Brilliant.
Yeah, one weekend.
So there's that part. Oh, God, we forgot to mention, in Genesis, the ending where you think that they do the whole, Arnold sacrificed himself, he's good. But now he's upgraded. He's got T-1000 powers.
Yeah.
Well, that's useless.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot.
Thanks for making us care.
Thanks for making us care. Now he's back and he's got the shape-shifting powers.
It's like when I watch Solo. When I watch Solo, I'm like, it's good and all, but he's fucking dead.
Exactly, yeah.
So I watch it's like when Black Widow, it's good and all, but she's fucking dead.
Exactly, yeah. And then, hang on, so that's Genesis, right? So I guess they're just stuck in that timeline? Oh no, they prevented the apocalypse again.
Yep. Again.
And now, what are they gonna do? Prevent it again?
I don't know. It's so dumb.
So that's Genesis. Now Dark Fate. So in Dark Fate, right, Genesis never happened, I guess, because 1 and 2 are canon, even though they were erased from canon, but now they're canon again. Skynet is erased again. So Legion sent back a Terminator to kill Danny, and the Resistance, let's call them the Resistance, I know it's not that, but it's the Resistance. The Resistance sent back Grace to protect Danny, but I guess, wait, hang on. Since this is Legion and not Skynet, do all AIs just make, like share the same thing where we're going to make Terminators, but then we're going to make time travel? Is that what it is? Because Legion make pretty much identical Terminators to T-800 and T-1000, but they also make time travel.
Yeah, they make time travel because Arnold knows how to make a time machine in Genesis.
Yeah, I guess. No, but I mean Legion.
Oh.
I mean Legion.
I'm so dumb.
Legion know how to make a time machine.
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah.
Whatever.
It's a progressive I guess so that means in the Terminator years it's implied that the progressive nature of humans means we invent time travel.
Cool.
And robo humans.
Oh, there's one thing I forgot to mention. The time travel effect gets better and better each movie.
Yeah.
Because in Terminator 1, it's just a cartoon ball with cartoon lightning.
And in Terminator 2,
it's better, but it's...
You see Robert Patrick and Arnold's testicles.
It's cool.
You do.
No, don't they CG him out?
In the extended
yeah,
they
do. Yeah,
but I've never watched the newer ones.
Oh well.
I've only watched the.
You have that in your brain now. You're like, no, that's my one.
No. It's like Shrek. One's my favorite because you see Lord Farquaad's boner.
God. And then in Terminator 3, the ball is way better because it's a mirror ball. And then in Genesis, it's more
a blue ball.
Yeah, in Genesis, it's more sci-fi.
It's like a spirit bomb from
and
Dragon Ball.
Oh yeah, you do see it in Dark Fate. Yeah, you see the time travel ball in Dark Fate.
Yeah.
Both of them.
Same thing.
Which is the same thing. God, I hate time travel.
Yep.
Even though I love Back to the Future, I hate time travel.
Yep.
It's not as bad as X-Men. No, wait. I think X-Men's worse because they do it without time travel. They do continuity errors without time travel, and then when they even got time travel, they made it even worse. But that's a story for another day.
Yeah.
He's still texting people.
Yeah. Well, it's been an hour and 33 minutes.
Yeah.
I think
you want to call it now?
Just before we call it, I think let's just like quickly see what's been happening like in comic books.
Oh yeah. Also, if you like the show, please listen again because we're. Yeah, do nothing.
Do nothing.
Yeah, don't do anything. We'll release one every Wednesday. I guess that's how we're doing it. Yeah, hopefully every Wednesday, and we'll just be doing stuff like this. We'll talk about movies, comics, pop culture stuff, video games,
anything,
wrestling, even.
Oh.
Even though I know nothing about wrestling, he's an expert. Aiden's an expert on wrestling, so he'll tell you a lot about it.
Right.
Ben 10, I know a lot about Ben 10. We'll get to that.
Right. Let me pull this.
What do you want to do next week? Because
let's not make commitments right now, just in case.
Yeah, fair enough. Whatever happens next week happens next week. Yeah. So just look forward to that. But yeah, listen to us.
So some of the things that have happened in comic book stuff.
What's happened?
Kevin Feige has said that Ms. Marvel, Moon Knight, and She-Hulk are going to show up in Marvel movies.
Sweet.
As well as the TV shows.
Sweet. I'm looking forward to that.
He said some of the characters we've announced, like She-Hulk, Ms. Marvel, and Moon Knight, will meet for the first time on Disney Plus shows. Then they'll go into the movies, but the MCU will now go back. They'll go back and forth, basically.
Okay. So unlike Netflix, where they just don't acknowledge them.
No, they'll intertwine them.
I hope that they just say they're canon.
Yep.
Just say that. And put Daredevil in Spider-Man 3. Just do that.
Titan's been renewed for his 3rd season.
Great.
Add Wally West.
Still haven't seen it.
I still have to watch season 2. This is one about the Batman, new casting.
Ooh.
There's a young youngish actress called Jamie Lawson.
Who's she gonna be?
A mystery role. They haven't disclosed.
Who could she be? How old is she?
She's African American. She's like roughly, I'd say late 20s, maybe like early 20s, give or take.
Poison Ivy?
Anyone. I think anyone.
No, I'm saying like, would you like her to be Poison Ivy?
Yeah, I'm fine with absolutely anyone.
I wouldn't mind that. I don't know who she is.
She could be Batgirl.
Yeah, that's true.
Like a youngish Batgirl. They
because this is pre-Robin.
It says key mystery role. Now I don't know if it's actually key
mystery role.
I don't know if it's actually key or it's just they've said that.
She's Starfire.
She could be like Lucius Fox's
daughter. Okay. She could be she could be Batgirl, but a la Lucia Fox's daughter, aka like how Alfred's Alfred's niece became Batgirl and Batman and Robin.
They try to do that in the Telltale games, where Lucius's daughter becomes a vigilante.
What kind of vigilante?
Killing one.
Oh, okay. Huntress maybe.
So, Scooby-Doo. Scoob. The new Scooby-Doo movie, Scoob.
I guess I'll watch it.
I don't really care about it.
Yeah, it looks alright. I guess I'll watch
the voices are kind of weird. The animation's cool. And Sonic.
Yeah, he's back, better than ever.
Looks good.
He has a better design.
I think Dr. Robotnik looks really good.
Yeah.
Like
I think I'm actually gonna see this movie.
Yep.
I think I'm actually gonna pay money to see it.
Yeah.
Which is surprising because the previous trailer was just like, what the fuck
Gangsta's
are you
Paradise
doing?
version.
Gangsta's Paradise, yeah. I still think the whole Sonic thing was a PR stunt.
Yeah. Absolutely.
How they're just like
extremely convenient.
Yeah, how they're just like, yeah, here's the terrible design, but we'll get people talking. People like, change the design, please.
I had noticed it in the trailers, they actually changed whole entire bits of animation. So the bit where James Marsden walks in, he goes, hi, and they start yelling at each other.
Doesn't he like hold like a
Sonic goes, like the other one where he's like an ugly face, he just stands there. But then in the new one, he's holding one of the rings, and he grabs it and pulls it to himself. So they might have changed the animation slightly.
Maybe, a little bit.
For the final thing, the Hawkeye show is definitely
he doesn't have his hair cut.
Yeah,
thankfully.
it's definitely based on the Kate Bishop one.
Nice.
Pizza Dog's going to be in it, and it's going to talk about his time as Ronin.
Oh yes, because that was kind of glanced over in Endgame.
He just was a murderer.
Yeah. I hope that Haley Steinfeld is Kate Bishop.
She has no idea what it is.
I know she won't be, but
she has no idea what it is in an interview.
Yeah,
she's like, I have no idea what it is.
I know she won't be, but I just hope one day. So
I think that's it.
That's it? All right.
Yeah.
All right.
Call it.
See you guys. I hope you guys were entertained by us ranting about Terminator.
I don't know how to end it.
It's All right, see you guys.
I think I broke something.